What is up? Happy Monday. This portion of the program is powered by NCA National Certified Alarms. No long-term contracts. License number 645. So that happened, the whole war thing, or whatever it is. Police action. It's a police action, boys. That's all it is. Police action. I'm not for it. Wasn't for it. But we're in it, so, you know, what are we going to do?
Chad, you can't end them unless you start one.
It's true. It's true.
I mean, you can't be the president that ends wars if there's no war to end.
Correct. You're correct. I'm sorry about that. I forgot all about that. The reality is, I didn't ask for this. I don't think any of you asked for this. I don't think, realistically, I mean, why is the big reason? I think you look over and you say Israel's a big reason. Do I think it's going to last a super long time? I don't, partially because I don't think we have the ammo. I don't think we have, and you were reading about that earlier, Bill, we do not have the stockpile to maintain this for a long time. So is it going to last 2 weeks, a month? Do I think the world's coming to an end? I would hope not. I would hope that the world's not coming to an end. I saw that's World War III. Who's your first pick? Well, us, obviously. But, the people that are overselling this is a wonderful thing. It's not. It's not good for us, not good for the Middle East, especially if it goes sideways and it becomes what the potential is that it could become, which is, it becomes the new Libya, the new Syria. We don't want that. On the other side of things, people out there who think this is the worst thing in the history, no. Time's going to tell what this thing ends up being. That's it. Is it going to go months? No, because you know what? Nobody wants months. Nobody wants weeks. What do we want? Get this thing over with. But my thing is, what's your objective? What is the goal? Because even Ted Cruz said no nukes. They didn't have any nukes. We weren't in trouble. It wasn't imminent. This weekend, he said that. I think he said it this morning, actually. We can go on and on about what could or couldn't happen. The reality is we're in this now. Yeah, we killed Khomeini and everybody, but doesn't mean that the next one up isn't better. Is this one better? I don't know. Is it worse? Possible.
Are they all not religious fanatics?
Probably not all of them. There's a couple moderates that were in cabinets before who tried to have some more moderate leanings. And I'm talking about serious moderate comparatively to what they have now. And they had the Green Party, and they didn't do well after they got out. One of them was under house arrest. But, do they have anybody designated? It's not going to be, the former Shah's. It's not going to be the Shah's son. He may not even last on the ground for more than an hour. And so there's that. So now we've got to ask ourselves as a nation, one was too many. What is if we lose a bunch, what does that look like? Oh, I don't think anybody wants that. Right? So what is that like? And you've got a chasm right now. I'm a sit and wait kind of guy. We're in this. I'd rather we weren't. But the reality is we're here. We're fighting it. We get behind our men and women who are out there doing what they're doing and taking on these crazy people are worried about what's it called? They're worried about the missiles and stuff. The suicide drones, far more dangerous at this point. $300-400. They've got tons of them. They can swarm. We've seen it what they do with Russia. Remember how they go in there and they swarm and take out their planes and whatnot? They can make life a living hell with those. And I was watching a video earlier. I don't know if it might have been Qatar, but it hit one of our bases and stuff. And you hear one of our guys say, "Oh my God, they're starting to get their aim down. They're figuring out what's going on." So it's not going to be easy. I think a lot of people thought, well, they're just going to roll over. It's going to be the same. It's not. 92 million people. And while some people are excited, there's a lot of people in the streets also bummed. All those people that wanted to continue to beat their wives and make them wear the beekeeper outfit, they're pissed. I don't think that was nice, Chad. It was honest. It was.
There's a lot of little girls that are like, nah, damn it, I got to go to school now.
Yeah. Well, so it's but we're in it now. I just want to know what's the end game. Because is it regime change? Is it, but it wasn't, but it is? But I'm not sure, but maybe it is. Is it because they were going to get nukes, but they weren't going to get nukes? And the deal that was offered last week was better than anything Obama had gotten, and Trump could have said, there's a victory? Is it ballistic missiles, which is nowhere in any of the stuff that they've had before, that they can't have any kind of missiles? Is it the fact that what did he say, that they tried to steal the election in 20 and 24? Is it because they tried to kill him? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things out there. What's the end game, though? Like anything, what's the end game? Is your end game, isn't regime change, but if it came, we're good with that, but then we're not good with it, but maybe we're good with it? Is that, no? Is that working for you? I mean, again, Trump.
Our objectives are clear. First, we're destroying Iran's missile capabilities, and you see that happening on an hourly basis, and their capacity to produce brand new ones, and pretty good ones they make. Second, we're annihilating their Navy. We've knocked out already 10 ships. They're at the bottom of the sea. Third, we're ensuring that the world's #1 sponsor of terror can never obtain a nuclear weapon.
Okay. So, but what exactly? So their Navy's gone. The nuclear weapon thing. By the way, if you were living in Iran and you were part of the ruling class right now, the minute this is over, you're trying to get a nuclear weapon faster than you ever have before. Because it seems to be about the only thing that keeps all the other countries away from you. I mean, look at Kim Jong-un, fathead. He's over there with his gout, just loving life, right? Because he got gout. He's always got bad gout. He does, too.
He's a big fan of cheese.
He is a big fan of cheese. That guy's always got gout problems. You're always hearing about how his gout's debilitating. So he's out there. Okay. So, but nobody messes with him. Every once in a while, he saber rattles. And they've got nothing, by the way. Iran's got stuff. Far more sophisticated. So, yeah, why wouldn't you want to at this point in time? Now the question is, again, what exactly is it that we're going to get at the end of this? Trump seems to think it's pretty easy.
We have the strongest and most powerful by far military in the world, and we will easily prevail.
But what does that look like? I think, and the cost, Bell and I were trying to do the cost today. So the cost estimate that I had run and talked to my buddy so far was, 12.7 billion on operations, airstrikes, deployments, etc. 21.7 billion in U.S. military aid to Israel, and then 25 to 40 million per day, not counting the fact that we lost 3 planes, so that'll take it up to 270 million today. Because Kuwait shot our planes down.
That was nice of him.
So Iran's like, we got one. Well, if Kuwait, that poor guy who shot the planes down at Kuwait, they're gonna dock his paycheck. Farsi.
He'll be like, I told you I was good.
They're taking it out of your check. Oh, thank God we didn't lose anybody there. So I think a lot of people just like to know, myself included. Time's gonna tell. But how long is too long? And I think boots on the ground. I think for most of you listening right now, boots on the ground that's a no-go, right? We can't have boots on the ground. Hence the reason why regime change isn't going to work. Because boots on the ground ain't happening. And how many boots would have to be on the ground for us to go in there and do that? So many. So many boots on the ground. And I don't think I've been promised no more wars, and then here's a war. I've been promised no more forever wars, and I don't think this will be. But away we're going to go, and we're going to find out what it looks like in the coming days and weeks. Hopefully, I would love to think it's over way sooner than people realize. But Trump's saying it could go on for a month or so. Okay, let's see.
We have, right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that. We'll do it.
What was the old saying? If you broke it, you bought it? Was that Powell that said that? I think Powell was the one who came out and said, if you broke it, you bought it. You own it. Well, we broke Iraq.
Talking about Colin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What other Powell would have?
I don't know. There's that guy from
The Fed chair?
McHale's Navy.
I don't think he was. Although it was the Navy. So we're going to see. It's going to be interesting. Let us know what you guys think. Again, I was never a fan of this. I said last week I wasn't a fan. I've been saying for a long time, I don't want any more wars. I don't want to go nation build. I don't want to do any of that stuff. If Israel's really wants to go after them, they can go after them. Or we don't want them to get a nuclear bomb. They're not getting a nuclear bomb. And even if they did, what are they going to do with it? And by the way, Israel thinks they're coming after them. I think the first place, if they ever had a nuclear bomb, we're going to do it, wouldn't be Israel. It'd be Saudi Arabia. Absolutely. They can't. The Saudis pushed for this. And now they're not thrilled because their stuff's getting bombed and we don't really seem to. We're protecting our bases. We're not so much protecting some of the oil.
Well, yeah, one of the first things that Saudi Arabia got hit with was the oil. One of their oil refineries on their East Coast.
Yeah. So, and that's they got the Straits of Hormuz closed. They bombed what was it? They hit an Indian ship today.
Yeah, they went after an Indian, not an oil tanker, but
like a cargo ship.
Yeah, a cargo ship. It's like, what the hell? Why are you bombing an Indian ship?
Like that's going to help, right? Now India's getting involved. Whew, geez. So we're going to find out. This is going to be very interesting. I want to know what you guys think about this. Like I said, we're in it now. I mean, I don't know what else to say. We're in it. So I just like to know, what is the end game? What is the end game? We've decapitated a vast majority, but the IRGC, who is their Revolutionary Guard, they're in many cases way worse, way more militant. So we always think the next guy is going to be that guy that's going to be the good guy. But I keep going back to, I can't remember the last time any of this has ever worked. I mean, it worked for 26 years when we did this to them. If you guys don't remember, there's a thing called Operation Ajax. They actually had a guy that was democracy. They voted him in. He decided to nationalize everything. And then America's like, oh, we can't have that. So us and the Brits, we overthrew him, put the Shah in, and then he ruled with an iron fist for 26 years before he was bounced. And then we had this. And the Iranians always say that's when democracy died in Iran, when they overthrew their former leader, who was so popular. So popular. So lots of stuff to get to today. Some interesting stuff, fun stuff, not just all about this. Did you see Jim Carrey? Or was that Jim Carrey?
And now the story is that he was supposedly wearing a mask.
I don't
no
know.
pun intended.
Mm-hmm. And if you didn't see that, did you see old Kelly Osbourne? Oh.
She's looking more and more like her mother every day.
She looks like Karen Carpenter would be obese. It's scary. It's the kind of scary where you look at somebody like that and you think, I feel like there's some real issues here. So it's scary, man. You got to check it out. Plus we'll have more on this, obviously, a bunch of other stuff to get to today, right here on the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Prize Picks is amazing. They're back. They're ready to roll. And the opportunity abound for you to win and get $50. Shoot your shot right away with Prize Picks. $50 instantly in lineups to play first $5 lineups. Now remember, Prize Picks, how do we do it? It's less based on players' projected stats. Okay? So if you pick a lineup, it's two or more players. It could be, right now, baseball. It could be hits. It could be, innings pitched. It could be any of those things, strikes per inning, any of those things right there. Then you go, hey, you know what? I'm going to do basketball. I'm going to do Steph Curry. Do I think he's going to make more than 4.5 3-pointers in this game? More or less. That's the way it goes. It is that simple, and away you go. You can download the app today. It is America's #1 sports picks app right now. You go, you download it, use my code Chad, and you can get $50 instantly when you play your first lineup. It is that simple. That's guaranteed after you play your first $5 lineup. So what are you waiting for? Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code Chad to get $50 in lineups instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Chad to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
All right, drivers, we got an 8-minute delay if you're going to be eastbound 24 through Jolton. That's because road work has only one lane open there, 24 eastbound at Whites Creek Pike. Operation Epic Fury rolls on. We'll give you the very latest on that coming up at 12:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
What's up, Ken? How you doing, baby?
What's going on, boys? How about you?
I wanted to have fun today, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about stupid war. I did. I thought, okay, good. We'll have some fun, talk about some fun stuff in the war. What is it good for? Nothing.
I kind of thought Friday, whenever the talks in Geneva broke down,
Yeah.
and the Iran delegation came out and said, we thought it went good. And then the Omani, the Omanis who were brokering it, kind of holding the meeting, said, we thought it went good. But the U.S. officials were dead silent.
Yeah, because
That was kind of telling.
It
right
was telling.
there.
Well, they had said that they wanted to attack a week earlier, but didn't. And for whatever reason, they weren't ready, weather, I don't know. And now you're in a position where you're looking around and you're going, okay, so why are we going through this charade of going in there and having any kind of discussions? It was never about anything to do with anything we wanted. We got a better deal, way better deal. They got offered so many things and didn't matter because we were already told it was going to be a no. So away we go. I was telling Belle, So Clinton must have woke up Saturday with a smile on his face because he was off all of the front pages. And then Neil
That's right. Yeah, that was his day to testify.
And then Neil Sedaka was gone. He died.
Yeah.
Picked the wrong day to die, Neil.
Yeah. Everybody forgot about O'Neill.
Oh, man. You picked the wrong day to die. Poor Neil. So, yeah, I would just, again, I love it. What I was laughing at is watching people who are twisting to make it so, yeah, this is exactly what we want. This is exactly what I voted for. I know he said no wars, but he really meant we're going to do some more wars. We're going to do some more stuff. And to watch them, because nobody wants to be, I can't believe I voted for that. So I was just like, you're not a fan of Trump. I'm not a fan of war. I'm not a fan of war. I don't know why people are a fan of war. Well, I'm not a fan of war, but, it's because we had to. We didn't. We didn't have to. Israel wanted us to, and we did. And now we got 3 planes shot down, 4 dead, 18 critically wounded, and probably a lot more than that.
That's not fair, though. Some of those planes were shot down by the Kuwaitis, and that was an accident.
Yeah, Iran said they shot down 1. But the Kuwaitis were like, yeah, I think we shot the other ones down. Sorry about that. Sorry, that sucked.
Thanks for saving our country. Here's this.
Yeah, sorry. We're here. You guys can hit us. We'll give you some free oil. Free oil! So this will be, again, I'm like, it's crazy, though. Think about this. Think about how blessed we are. I mean, I'm looking and think about living in Tel Aviv or any of these areas where there's bombings going on nonstop.
Beautiful, sunshiny day.
Yes.
And in the distance, boom.
Boom. Just boom, boom, boom.
We are very fortunate.
So,
where
yeah,
we live.
But we got none of this going on. We don't. Nobody's coming in. Nobody's trying to, that's the beauty. That was one of the things our founding fathers were like, well, it's going to be, if you're going to come here, it's a long trek, and we're going to see you coming. Right? Then we've got Mexico, we got our Huaraches, and we got white Mexico and Canada to protect us if you're going to come in those directions. And, so it's we're blessed because of the natural terrain. Just getting here would be virtually impossible to do where you were going to be undetected.
And then once you get here, there's so many civilians with guns.
Everybody's
that
packing.
You don't need to be worried about the military. You need to be worried about the civilians.
That's right. Yeah, you got to get through where are you going to come? You're going to come here? You're going to come to the Carolinas and to Florida? Good luck with that. Getting shot by a bunch of spring breakers.
Better try to come through Washington State.
That's right. It's the best bet is to go up through, come down through Vancouver, sneak in through the backside of everything, down through the mountains. That's your best way to get here. Because otherwise you're screwed. You're going to get killed by people in Daytona. Right?
Whereas in Seattle, you just join in the parade.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just join in. Nobody's going to pay attention to you. Just tell them you're dressed in drag. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Oh, lordy, lordy. All right, coming up. We got a bunch of stories that are crazy that we should talk about, including Anthropic. Also, do you guys know what a destination charge is? Today, so much other stuff to get to. Plus, several of you have chimed in about you saw Kelly Osbourne, and it was
that's terrible.
It is not a good look.
She looks like a fish.
Yes.
She and her mother both, they look like big mouse bass.
Yeah. It's like
big mouth bass.
They took all of the fat or any kind of fat out of their jaws. It's scary looking. It is. Talk about that.
It does not look good.
It is not. Oh, my God. Speaking of that, did you see Britney, man? I saw another Britney this weekend.
Boy.
Oh, Lord. Somebody needs to get to her. I just went on to see the comments. It was, poor thing. Did we do the right thing? No. Stay out of her life. Her family knew her better than you did. If you're missing the show, shame on you. Grab the podcast. It is the Chad Bench Show. Super Talk 99.7.
$12:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Operation Epic Fury rolls on. President Trump says it could take 4 to 5 weeks, but can go far longer than that and will if necessary.
This was our last best chance to strike what we're doing right now and eliminate the intolerable threats posed by this sick and sinister regime.
ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers.
The president has done numerous interviews today as well, and in one, notably with the New York Post, he did not rule out sending U.S. ground troops into Iran. He said to the Post, quote, "I don't have the yips with respect to boots on the ground. Like every president says, there will be no boots on the ground." The president said in that interview, "I say probably don't need them, or if they were necessary." So certainly leaving open that potential for this operation to expand beyond just the airstrikes that we've seen over the last 2.5 days.
Department of Homeland Security warning of potential lone wolf terror attacks amid the ongoing strikes in Iran. In response, police departments nationwide have stepped up patrols in high traffic areas.
This is Jim Ryan. A day after the DHS warning it, as if to confirm the agency's concerns, a man opened fire in downtown Austin, Texas early Saturday, killing 2 and wounding 14 before he was killed by police. Images of Enjaga Janya moments before he was shot show him wearing a sweatshirt bearing the words "Property of Allah." He's also said to have been wearing a T-shirt featuring an Iranian flag. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Meanwhile, here in Nashville, Fox 17 says Iranian Americans celebrated over the weekend.
They killed more than 40,000 people. We believe they killed more than 100,000 people. I have so many friends and family in Iran. Every single one of them you talk with, they have some kids die.
Meanwhile, across town, others protested.
My whole life, I've watched us send Southern American citizens to war, not knowing if they'll come back, and I'm tired of it.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
All right, guys. All right. My friends over at Beacon would love to talk to you. Give you a free, personalized financial consultation. Okay, this is where you go in, and if you're in retirement, heading towards retirement, you're worried about things like, are you going to outlive your retirement? Are you going to be in a situation where you fear that as you get a little bit older, that maybe if things go wrong, you're going to have to go into a home? Long-term care is something they can help you with, as well as estate planning and, yes, healthcare and taxes. And taxes are important. Right now, you can deduct up to $10,000 of car loan to interest. Many of you don't know that. But here's the thing. There's some caveats with these, where it's assembled. On top of that, if you're over 65, you're eligible for additional senior deduction up to $6,000. There's a phase out. It's not a complete elimination of Social Security benefits, taxes, but you better take advantage of these things while you can. So this is what I want you to do. Call them today. Go see my friends at Beacon Capital Management for a free personalized financial consultation. Visit beaconcm.com, beaconcm.com. Call 615-488-9303, 615-488-9303 for Beacon Capital Management. This is a paid placement. This portion of the program is brought to you by NCA National Certified Alarms and Long-Term Contracts, license number 645. Yeah, Ken, I was watching. I didn't know who that was, Kelly Osbourne, when I saw her because she's lost so much weight.
I had no idea it was her.
Honest to God, I had no idea.
Well, and when the Osbourne's reality show was running, she was porky.
Yeah.
I mean, she was genuinely overweight. And when you compare the two, I mean, I could understand why she'd want to lose weight, but not this much.
Yeah. Well, she said, and she got mad at people. If you guys haven't seen her, she was on the Brit Awards, and she looks like she weighs under 100 pounds. Her face, because she also had like one of those sleeveless shirts on, and it's one of those things where you could see every bone, every rib, you know, and her shoulder blades and everything. But her face, it looks so gaunt. And she's like, I can't believe how mean people. What did you expect? By the way, if Camera puts on 10 pounds, that's crazy. Because I feel like it puts on 50, but you don't know that. But it was shocking to see because I'm like, who's that lady? Oh my God, that's Kelly Osbourne. Looks nothing like her. And then you had the Jim Carrey thing, which was way weird. So is it a guy named Alexi Stone? Not Alex Stone, our buddy, but Alexis, who is a drag queen who supposedly put on a mask. He kind of teased that, but then, because if you guys have not seen Jim Carrey from like a week or two ago, and then this person yesterday at the Caesar Awards who got this award, that is not the same person.
Well, and if you look closely between the two,
yeah,
the one that people are now assuming is a mask, that guy has almost no eyebrows.
Yeah. Yeah. And it looks, and he did different color eyes. And you're thinking, how did you get here? Like, what happened? How did you get to this? Because you don't look like that. You look like somebody who looks like Jim Carrey.
When I first saw when people talking about it being a mask, my first thought was, oh, it must be some kind of promotion for the fact that he's going to do another Mask movie.
Oh, yeah.
And then that never even got brought up.
No. It was weird, though. It was really weird because there was a guy who comes out and he says, I did it. And then he pulled it back. And you still don't know because the person who also spoke happened to be fluent French. And I don't think Jim Carrey's fluent French. The whole thing was just bizarre. Bizarre. We'll get back to the war. It's not going anywhere, unfortunately. Now, guys, do you know what a destination charge is? It's the new things with cars. Okay, customers are encountering a new sticker shock buying cars. It's a destination charge, and it's $1,600 on new cars right now. And people are asking, what the hell is a destination charge? Because when you go, dude, you guys we go buy cars, right? Doesn't matter what you buy. Look at how long it is. What's your sign? Okay, it's this. This is $1,600, and people are asking, what the hell's a destination charge? Where's my car going that I don't know about? And that's another reason why cars are through the roof. It's mandatory, non-negotiable flat rate fee set up by auto manufacturers to cover the cost of transporting a new vehicle from the factory to a dealership. On average, it's $1,600 right now.
There is no way that putting a bunch of those on a tractor trailer and driving them to a dealership costs $1,600.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. So, because you're not driving them individually on a tractor trailer, you're dropping them off in big groups, right? So you're not driving one and dropping it off.
How many of those hold? Like 12 cars?
I think about 12. Yeah. Five on top, maybe 6. So, so right there, just that destination charge, it's another thing to push prices through the roof. Already, what are we talking about? $790 is the average payment for a new car?
A friend of mine, when I was living in Dallas and working in records, he was the Warner Brothers rep, and his father had been a car salesman, so he knew exactly the whole process and where to cut corners and what not to do. And he goes to buy a car, and the guy brings out the invoice he's got to sign, and there's one line that says ADP on it, and it's like $850. And he'd never seen that before. So he's talking to the sales guy. He goes, what is this right here, ADP? I've never seen that on a contract before. and he pressures the guy, and the guy goes, "It's additioner dealer profit."
They just put it right in there.
Yeah.
It's more money for us, but we could put more money for us. So we put that. It's like with your phone bill. Go look at your phone bill. How much crap is on there that you have no idea what's on there? $1 here, $1 there, 97 cents. When you go to get it, even if you go buy a battery, you go buy a battery and it's like, you're charging me $24 for disposal. I'm buying a battery. I'm not disposing of one. Well, you may have one that you want to dispose of, but you're not doing it.
When you get your oil changed, and there's that little fee on there for them getting rid of the old oil.
Yeah, it's like they make it. It's like $19.95 for your oil change. Remember those? And then it's just like when you buy flowers, $19.99 for the 12 stems, red rose. You check out, it's $73. So, well, what's this for? Oh, there's this, and the oil change. That's right, your oil change. It's insane, but they said there's averaging $1,600 a day. I mean, $1,600 per car right now. That is insane to think that. Just incredible. And just the cost of cars right now. By the way, Maserati charges $4,000. $4,000 for because the destination's better when you're buying a Maserati. Which is usually...
At least it's cheaper than the oil change.
Yeah. The destination's better. You know what the destination is? The shop. If you want to buy a Maserati, get a used one, and because they're going to break down. On average, I'm looking at some of these things. The cost is insane. BMW only charges $1,200 right now. That's pretty good. And remember, $1,600 is average. F-Series... Cadillac, Escalade, GMC, Yukon, Ford Expedition charging $2,600 for your destination charge. What was the stuff? Remember Seinfeld? Was it undercoat?
Yeah, and Putty goes, we don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's like charging you for undercoat. That's I don't know, because that's mostly in the East Coast, right? Because of the snow and stuff.
I
have no idea what it is. I don't even know if it's real. Oh, geez, just insane. Just an additional driver purging, ADP. That's right. Educate yourself before you say transport costs too. I didn't say transport costs too much. I said $1,600. If you're going to one dealership, and you've got 10 cars to drop off, and on average, let's say it's $10,000. Is it really a $20,000 drive? When already the cars are through the roof and you're paying $790 payments on average. That's the average car. Somebody's buying a Corolla, they're paying $790.
That is ridiculous. If you're paying that for a car, you do not understand money. And that's coming from somebody who's made a lot of bad fiscal decisions and had learned the hard way.
You?
Yes.
Are we going to put that in one of our mandals? Bad fiscal decisions?
Yes.
Bad fiscal decisions. So that is crazy. I know we've had destination charges since 1958, but, I think that the problem is it isn't that we have had them. It's now that everything is being passed off to the customer. And so you have to sign 48 different pages. And everything is something new. They try to sell you something on top of selling you something. And again, $790.
I'm surprised there's not a line item. Not a line item on there for the tariffs.
Yeah. So in 1998, it was $500. It cost more to transport back then. So it's buy used. First of all, never buy a new vehicle. Ever.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Ever buy a new vehicle. Ever buy a new vehicle. There's no reason. Did you buy yours new?
No.
Yeah, smart.
No. God, no. You lose so much value as soon as you drive it off the lot. It's ridiculous.
I wonder if Ken, did you buy yours new? Ken, what did Ken have? His Hyundai? Is he there?
Yeah, he's putting his headphones on.
Oh, okay. Did you buy your car new, Ken?
No, it was not brand new.
Smart man back there.
Yeah.
No, sir, I stopped doing that. I'm going to drive them till they can't drive anymore.
Damn,
Smartest way
Right
to go.
through the ground.
That's well, it's on fire. I'm still going to try to get it there. I would, if it wasn't for the fact that my wife didn't like me sitting in traffic, I'd still have my Saturn, my 2002 or 3 Saturn, whatever it was. Man, I love that thing. I drive that thing all day long. Never had a problem. It was like Legos. The engine was Legos. Didn't matter. But I'm like you, man. I would drive it to the ground. I would never buy it. Right now, if I was going to buy a used car, though, you could get Teslas so cheap. That Model 3, man, they drove it. You might as well driven it off a cliff when you drove it out of the parking lot. Just insane, crazy.
So it loses like 10 grand in value.
Oh, almost immediately.
The minute you hit the road.
I mean, I follow these car guys, and they've got some like great deals. You know, a couple of them are here, but they'll show you like here's a Y model. The battery's 92% still good, and you know it's like 13 grand for it. It's got 140,000 miles on it, but everything works perfect, and it's Carfax. There's nothing wrong with it. But somebody who bought it like 4 years ago spent like 70 grand on it. That's insane.
A new car typically loses 20 to 30% of its value in the first year, and depreciation continues at about 15% annually for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
That's just, there's no reason. Horrible money decision if you're buying a new car.
Yes. Yeah, just it. I don't even, and if you're super wealthy and you don't care, okay. Because if you're buying a car like a Bugatti, it doesn't matter, you know? I mean, that car's not going to lose that much value because you're only going to drive it. Like, you ever see those cars too that are for sale? It's like, oh yeah, it's a 2008, Ferrari. It's got 1,800 miles on it. Why? Because mostly it was in the shop.
Or it was owned by somebody that was so rich they had 7 other cars and they didn't like driving that
They don't
one.
like driving that one. So just insane. All right, coming up, a lot of stuff still to squeeze into. Speaking of Iran, are they out of the World Cup before it ever begins? We'll talk a little bit about that, bunch of other good stuff. Reach out to us across all of our social media. We love hearing your stories about what's the highest payment you've ever paid on your car. I want to hear it. Text the program. What's your highest payment that you've ever paid on a car? What is your no-go if you were going to go get a new car? Because it's the first thing we always ask when we go buy a car. It's never, how much is the car? What's it out? We always say, how much down? What's my payment? We don't care that it costs you $60 and then it's now worth $35 when you drive it off the lot. You just want to know, what is my payment going to be? What's that no-go for you? Let us know. Love hearing from all of you. Chad Bench, Super Talk 99.7.
Chris Hand Show, weekday mornings 9 to noon, and streaming on the Supertalk 99.7 WTN app.
All right, guys. Love talking to you guys about Relief Factor. It's awesome. Sandra's one of my listeners. She's been a listener for a long time. She decided to try Relief Factor, right? It's got omega-3s, and it's got resveratrol. It's all natural. And I told her for a long time, hey, you can try this. She texted me, hey, what do you think? I said, just try it, right? Her back was hurting. Within 3 weeks, she said she was 90% better. And some of that other stuff is just stuff that, that she's going to have to actually have surgery for. But the thing that mattered most was her back. She said she felt 1,000 times better. That can be you. Don't suffer with pain. Don't be in that position where you're like, oh, this is my new norm. Give Relief Factor a try. You will feel the difference. It focuses on the pathways when it comes to inflammation, right? Aches and pains in your muscles and your joints, especially if you're overexerting yourself. You are going to feel the difference. Get a 3-week quick start right now by going to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. You will absolutely feel the difference. And you could be just like Sandra. Get yourself out of that pain. It's not a new normal. All right? You don't have to live that way. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
Feed store. Stop the pain that's stopping you. Visit goodfeed.com to book your appointment today, or just stop by the store nearest you.
All right, guys. USS, ready to help you. Some rains will be coming. You guys know what we went through with the chaos of the horrible weather. And many of you out there, well, you still got some issues that you want to make sure you're taking care of, especially before it gets nasty out there with the rains coming. That's where USS comes in. They come on out, right? United Structural Systems since 1994, give you a full workup. Look around, make sure everything's okay, and make sure that just in case you've got some water somewhere that you can't see, right? You don't want that standing water. Maybe your foundation's having some issues. Get to it before it gets worse. Let USS handle that for you. That's what I want you to do. If you or somebody you know is dealing with foundation issues, especially after all the nastiness that happened, call USS today. They're committed to quality in our community. 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. Check out everything that they do online at USSTN.com. USSTN.com. Gain peace of mind with United Structural System Foundation Repair and Waterproof Services.
A full report on Operation Epic Fury. Here in Tennessee, state lawmakers pushing a bill to ban companies from using personalized algorithmic pricing. Tell you what that means. Coming up at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Man, a lot of you, I got a lot of $700, $800 payments people are putting in. Some $1,350.
Wow.
What are you driving?
That's nuts.
So that is nuts. So, I mean, okay, so that is a Cummins Ram 2500, 83 grand, 7.3%. That is insane. 158,000. So another guy, he bought his Peterbilt 2021. So that's obviously not a normal vehicle. 158K, but he's paying $3,600 a month, but that's his job.
That's for his
job.
But that's a tractor trailer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know the pricing on that, but that doesn't sound outrageous for a tractor trailer cab.
$1,500 a month. Everybody's got that price. Like, what do you pay, Bell? Like, what do you get? 4 payments left? Bell's very excited about his payments.
$125.15 a month.
Oh my God. Bell went back to the 80s to get his payment.
Wow.
That's
good. Relatively speaking.
Good God. 158. What was the highest payment you've ever had?
You know what? I was thinking about that, and I can't remember. And I know it had to be on my BMW, but I don't think that was early 2000s. So I don't think it went over $300.
That's not bad. What about you, Ken?
I think we're in it right now with our Nissan Rogue. It's a 2021, and I think we're definitely over 300. But I'm not
bad,
completely sure. Not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was 5 years ago now. So
how many more payments you have?
I don't know. It's weird. Because this Rogue, we switched it out for the initial one we bought. This one turned out to be a little bit more expensive. I don't know how my wife worked this deal out. She does all the money for us, but I definitely know that this one is over $300 a month. And I think we might be a year out.
That's not bad.
From paying it off, and I can't wait.
I know. Isn't it great when you make that last payment?
I love it.
It's just it's a release. It's like there's X amount of dollars I don't have to pay every single month and forget that I paid or paid it, double paid. Because we pay $600 on ours, but that's because we're like doubling up payments. I just want to get rid of it as fast as possible because I hate payments on anything.
Yeah, I pay them off, and even while I'm paying them off, man, I mean, I service them religiously. I do that service, man, because I do not like having car payments.
No. I don't. I don't either.
It's worth it to me to service them the way they need to be serviced rather than servicing them on top of the monthly payment.
Yeah. Like when I was talking to, poor Mason, his car, his Jeep or whatever breaks down. He goes and gets another used car. And then in a week, he's got to go get that thing totally fixed.
It's a vicious cycle.
It is. Because once it starts doing those things, then buy them cheap, baby. Buy them cheap.
And run them long.
Yep. Point A to point B.
Got to take care of them.
Yeah, that's it. Just simple things. Take it in, get a tune-up every once in a while, make sure your oil's taken care of. That's it. Rotate the tires. I like the fact that I don't have to drive anymore, really, because we don't drive anywhere. I walked to work again today. It was lovely. I love that fact. All right, coming up, hour number 2 of the program. Probably talk a little about the war. What is it good for making Lindsey Graham money? Whoa! Talk a bit about that. Bunch of other good stuff on the way. Happy Monday, everybody. Chad Bench, Super Talk 99.7.
One o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Operation Epic Fury update. U.S. Central Command saying 4 American service members are now confirmed dead in the military operation after 1 critically wounded soldier succumbed to injuries. President Trump warns there will, quote, likely be more casualties as the high-intensity campaign pushes forward.
We have, right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks. But we have capability to go far longer than that. We'll do it.
The president has said he's open to talking to Iran again, but Iran has basically said they don't want to talk at this point. Meanwhile, in Nashville, Fox 17 reports there were anti-war protests and celebrations among Iranian Americans over the weekend.
This group is opposed to any U.S. military action in Iran, saying they want tax dollars spent on families and education, not violence and war.
My whole life, I've watched us send Southern American citizens to war, not knowing if they'll come back, and I'm tired of it.
Many of these Iranian Americans who told us they fled to the U.S. after atrocities under their home country's regime thanked President Trump, the U.S., and Israel.
No other country stand up till this happened today. And for the first time in 47 years in a history, somebody actually came to rescue us. Thank you, President Trump. That's all I can say, that in the bottom of my heart.
Meanwhile, Americans encouraged to stay informed as the situation develops hour by hour. Right now in Tennessee, state lawmakers pushing a bill that would ban companies from using personalized algorithmic pricing. The proposal targets pricing systems that adjust what you pay based on your personal data. It means you could pay more than the person in line behind you. House Democratic Caucus Chair John Ray Clemens telling Channel 4 he's got bipartisan support.
What this legislation would actually do is, for the first time in Tennessee, is prohibit personalized algorithmic pricing, saying that companies aren't allowed to use your personal data to try to optimize their profits.
So if this is made into law, it would take effect in July. 44 people have died on Middle Tennessee interstates over the last 2 years. And new data points to 3 especially dangerous spots. The deadliest is 65 at mile marker 85 near Rosa Parks Boulevard, where I-24 and 65 split in North Nashville. I-24 at mile marker 62 in Antioch also recorded 3 fatal crashes driven by heavy commuter traffic from Rutherford County. And I-40 at mile marker 213 near the 4024-440 interchange rounds out the list as one of Nashville's most complex and deadly highway zones. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
What is up? Happy Monday. Sports of the program is brought to you by National Certified Alarms. That's NCA. The long-term contracts license number 645. Obviously, we're at not hard to say if it's a war, right? Because they say war, but is it war? Not the way that we would think it's war. But they didn't vote on war, so there's that. Congress, I would ask, I saw a lot of some of our Congress people, like Burchett and them, talking about how great this is and all that kind of stuff. Okay, whatever. But there's no part of you that thinks, hey, man, Congress used to have a reason to be. And that reason doesn't exist anymore because you guys are all you're too chumpy.
Don't want to go on record.
Yeah. Just, nothing? Like you don't want to have any kind of say? Now, he's allowed to do something for, I think it's 60 days. But then that would have to be voted on after that to extend. I don't think it's going to go on 60 days. I don't think we can afford it. I don't think we have the amount of...
Oh, dude, all we got to do is print more money.
Yeah, but it's about whether or not we can afford it with the stockpile of stuff that is out there, which is not a lot. Do you guys remember this guy's name was Donald Trump?
The war in Iraq, we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iran is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, it was a mistake. So George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
But so you still think he should be impeached?
I think it's my turn, isn't it?
You do whatever you want. You call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied.
Okay.
They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
All right.
Boo, boo. They booed him because he doesn't like war. Boo. And that was low energy Jeb. Do you guys remember this guy?
We're not looking for regime change. I just want to make that clear.
We do not seek regime change.
Do you want to see regime change in Iran?
No. If there was, there was. But no, I don't want it. I'd like to see everything calm down as quickly as possible.
I think we all would. But what's it look like? See, I've said this for a long time. We are great at getting into stuff. We're horrible at getting out. We don't stick the landing. And you can't say they're killing all their people. They are. Okay. So we're going to go in there for that. Well, why are we going into Africa? If that's what, because there's no oil in Africa in certain parts. So we know that, right? Like, okay. But now there's precious, right? There's minerals and stuff we could use. And we see what's going on there. Okay. What about the nukes? How close were they? Ted Cruz came out and said, look, that was a lot of that wasn't as real as you think. There's no way they're getting a nuke in any time soon. Okay, so then what was it? I mean, several of these things. I want to know, what's the end game? That's just it. What's the end game?
United States total control of falafels.
Waffles I'll go with. Falafels. If you want to do that, let's take over Belgium. They got all kinds of waffles there.
We can probably negotiate easier with Belgium.
Probably. More Muslims there. Oh, if you guys know anything about Belgium, there's some the hottest spot in all of Europe for terrorism and whatnot. It isn't France. It isn't Britain. It's Belgium. Belgium is there's some places. But I didn't want us to do this because I do fear, you have it's funny, like Pete Hegseth getting on people today about, as if we don't have a right to ask questions or to have some trepidation over this because we've not been told stories like this before. Of course we have. We've been told tons of stories about how this is going to be simple and how it's going to be easy. And, with Venezuela, I mean, what do? We went in and snatched a bad guy and then put somebody who was more competent in power and just said, you're in charge now, and nothing else has changed. It wasn't even a regime change. We just swapped one idiot out for somebody less idiotic. Nothing's changed for those people. So I think it's a fair question. What is it here for us? And think about this for Europe too, because you got to look at the big picture. A lot of you, no, it's this is what it is. What's the big issue going to be if this thing goes sideways? And let's just say we decide we're done, right? So we step away. Bibi's got all that he's wanted out of it, which is to watch it devolve into hell. Hezbollah, they're already bombing Hezbollah. They're talking about putting boots on the ground in Lebanon. You've got all kinds of, there's basically every place around there has gotten some sort of missile or drone attack. And if it does devolve into chaos, what happens with the people that are going to be fleeing these countries? Oh, which is, I don't think we need that. We don't need mass, immigration from all over that could head to Europe. I'm sure Europe would be thrilled by that. So we'll see. I don't think it's going to last as long as a lot of people think. And I'm not a doom. Some of you hate Trump. No, I was just told we weren't getting into any more wars. That's what I was told. And we have bombed and bombed and bombed for the last year. By the way, he has bombed pretty much more than any other president in the last year. For those of you guys, if you care about, okay, well, has he? Yeah. He is the lethal president. Iran, Nigeria, Venezuela. All right. Those were three that the U.S. military had never been a target. Okay. Those are three. He continued to keep up with the usual suspects. Somalia. He just crushes Somalia all the time. He's dropped more bombs than Somalia. And then you can go down the line of just how many other nations he has hit, including Libya, Iraq, Nigeria. And then, of course, the people in the waters off of Mexico, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Colombia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So, I don't think he's going to get his peace prize. But what I just want to know, what's the best case scenario? What comes out of this? They become a nation that is living in democracy. Probably not going to happen overnight. It becomes a nation that fragments itself, and then all of a sudden you've got civil war. I think we should all know because, we've lost servicemen and women. And probably will lose more. And that is according to them. That is what they said. So is that something that is, what is our appetite for this? Is the appetite, oh yeah, everybody in America? Because look, the people on the left who hate Trump, it doesn't matter what happens, right? They're idiots. They hate Trump. They got Trump derangement syndrome. Then there's people on the way right who have Trump derangement syndrome, who it doesn't matter what he says, they're gonna buy every. But a vast majority of people, they're like in the middle, they like Trump. Maybe they don't like Trump, but they're conservative. They want to see how this plays itself out. But we should kind of have a real understanding of what does it look like. Do we just step back in 2 weeks after we bomb the hell out of them and say mission accomplished again? And are we back here in 6 months? Because the next group that took over found out they're way worse, which is always the fear. Always the fear, pal, that they're way worse. We don't want way worse. I'll tell you that right now. Earlier today, Trump talking about all of the things, including the objectives.
Our objectives are clear. First, we're destroying Iran's missile capabilities, and you see that happening on an hourly basis, and their capacity to produce brand new ones, and pretty good ones they make. Second, we're annihilating their navy. We've knocked out already 10 ships. They're at the bottom of the sea. Third, we're ensuring that the world's #1 sponsor of terror can never obtain a nuclear weapon.
Okay. So the nuclear weapon, they're far away from the nuclear weapon. By the way, the deal that was offered to them last week. So this is the deal that was offered to us and Israel and everybody else. Was 1,000 times better than anything Obama got. And Obama's deal was just to get a deal. Let's be real. So it was just to get a deal, got a deal. I always thought, what a silly deal, because the way that they had worked that thing up was it like you had a month? It's like, hey, we're going to come check and see if you guys are working on nuclear bombs. We can get you in a month. Okay.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah. When Chuck Schumer's like, this is the dumbest thing ever. That being said, by the way, that also had a sunset clause. So after 25 years, they could do whatever they wanted to do. The one that we had last week was no sunset clause at all. Means it was in perpetuity, that if they enriched over a certain level, that had to leave, and they were fine with that. Bibi Netanyahu in Israel, you know what they wanted? Even if you enrich for medical purposes, like for cancer, that can't happen. So, and we said this last week, right? He was going to put these crazy, no way you were ever going to be able to actually pull any of that off and still have a nation. Because his goal was never, ever about coming up with a nuclear deal. He feels he's got to do this, and America got on board. So we'll find out how long it lasts. Trump seems to think it's going to be... I think it's going to be... I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be... I would love to think it's going to be over by this weekend. I would love to think that. And again, I have no idea who's going to take over. There's several different people that were in moderate kind of politicians in Iran, but they're not the leaders because you need somebody strong. And that's the other thing. Whoever takes over, you need somebody strong because the powers that be, they say lay down your arms. Well, why would the IRGC lay down their arms? Because they were just out shooting protesters 4 weeks ago. So lay down your arms. We may be fine with it. And we're like, yay, that's great. Good for you. But those people, they're going to pick up the arms and turn it around on them. So they're not going to go anywhere because they figure, you know what? We got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. And they are far more, by the way, the IRGC, that group in many ways is way worse than Khomeini. Way worse. They're far more just super strict in the Shia version of stuff. So this will be interesting over the next couple of days. I think, like I said, I want us to win, but what does winning look like? When people say you don't like Trump, no, I don't like war. I mean, what is it good for outside of Lindsey? Oh, by the way, you guys want to hear Lindsey Graham? Because he's so gay for war. I said the boys. You guys saw that, right?
Yeah, it was. I laughed out loud.
Yeah, it was. Did you get yours too, there, Ken? My Lindsey Graham.
I did not see that
in his rainbow sweater. It says I'm gay for war.
And anything else you got?
My feeling today is that I'm very glad that President Trump won and Kamala Harris lost. I don't try to be political at moments like this, but I'm responding to the senator from Arizona who took a shot at this operation. Yep. Unfortunately, the modern Democratic Party is pathetic in the face of evil. Soleimani, al-Baghdadi, they embrace deals that make no sense. The difference between Donald Trump and our Democratic colleagues, he's common sense. He understands the world. I've been talking to him continuously for days and weeks. He's of the mindset that the Ayatollah is Hitler in a robe wearing a turban, that he's not capable of changing his ways. He reached out to him to test to see if he would. Donald Trump does not get us entangled in forever wars, but he sure as hell stands up to the bad guys and he makes us safer.
Okay. Well, I hope it's true. So, and I think, look, do I like the fact that we got a guy that's not afraid to look you in the eyes and, and say, well, Bell sent me something earlier. I'll probably play for you later because I'm going to have to beep it out. But it's all, they ask, what would you say to Iran? And then it's Kamala going, don't. And then they said, to Biden, what would you say? Don't. And then it was Trump and he's like, I'm going to bomb the bleep out of him, which is hilarious. But it's nice to know you have that. Doesn't mean you always have to use it. And if we get dragged down and bogged down in things, and that's why a lot of people, even on the right, are a little gun shy because we've seen this before. And it always seems to come from this region, right? We never get into like, oh my God, we're going back to the Canadian fur wars. None of that stuff, which would be crazy. I'll tell you that right now. Coming up, Epstein. Clinton spoke. Nobody heard it. Why? Because we bombed Iran. What did I see today? Operation Epstein's Fury is what they're calling this. Chad Benson, just Super Talk 99.7.
Picture, stream from anywhere on the Super Talk 99.7 WTN app.
Oh, Bulwark Capital wants you to have a chat with them about what's going on with your retirement, with your investments. Is that going to help you out? A little stuff with AI there. You're worried about that? Are you worried about the potential of a tech boom or even something like this? And what's going on? They can help you with that. It's a free Know Your Risk portfolio review from my friends at Bulwark Capital. I was talking to my buddy Zach the other day who runs everything over there, and he said, people said they're worried about what might happen. And he said, I hate to say it, but you're better off if they attack because they're positioned in the right way. And that's what Bulwark does. They are smart. They do things in a much different way. They're aggressive, but they do it first and foremost through risk management. Lower risk, lower cost, lower volatility. And don't be afraid to look at things outside of just our markets. So sign up today for your free Know Your Risk portfolio review from our friends at Bulwark Capital. It's not going to cost you anything but a little bit of time. Go to knowyourriskpodcast.com, knowyourriskpodcast.com for Bulwark Capital Management. Investment advisors driven off through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Investment involved risk on a guarantee. Past performance not guarantee future results. Trek 2647.
All right, we've got a full report on Operation Epic Fury, and here in Tennessee, there is a new bill with bipartisan support, that aims to stop businesses from using algorithms that tailor prices to individual shoppers. We'll tell you about that at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Yeah, that is interesting, that bill. I was looking at that. It's like dynamic pricing. So the person in front of you could buy a loaf of bread for a nickel, and you might pay $7.
Yeah.
They also are they're always still trying to figure out how they can wipe out taxes for groceries, which is.
I'd be all for that.
Yeah, it's weird because like some things you tax, some things you don't. But we all want taxes gone, but we all want stuff too. We want the roads. Who's going to take care of where's our police going to come from? Is anybody here volunteering? Probably not. So, but the dynamic pricing, that's an interesting thing because they do the same thing with concerts, obviously, which they're trying to figure out how to stop that down and but if it's 100 degrees outside and you have a chance, normally it's $1 for a soda, but everybody wants a soda, why shouldn't you be able to charge $1.50 for it? And if it's 40 degrees outside, nobody's buying your sodas, well, maybe you have to charge 50 cents for it. It's if it's two different people in line, that's the issue.
Yeah.
So
yeah, based on what apps and what apps basically have been spying on you.
Yeah.
How you spend online and what you're willing to spend.
So, and what you're willing to spend. It's like we were talking about earlier. What are you willing to spend? What are you willing to pay for your loaf of bread?
Hey, look, this dude'll spend $20 on a hot dog.
That's insane.
How much for the hot dog? $20.
20 American dollars? That's crazy. But if you're starving, you would pay it. Right? If you were starving. So that's the whole thing. The thing is, how good is the dynamic pricing? Because they've tried this in other places, and I've seen vending machines and we had some in Arizona. So when it would take the temperature. So outside, if it was like 90 or above, you're paying $2.50 for a soda. But if it was in the 60s, you're paying, 75 cents. But how can you do that I guess you would do it based on if there's a big sale, if there's 40 loaves of bread and they've sold 20 in the last hour, well, then there's a run on bread. Or toilet paper, right? Like COVID, man, you could have done anything. How much could you have gotten for, a whole bunch of toilet paper? God, that was like cocaine.
More than a pile of leaves.
Oh, no doubt about that. Man, that was crazy. Remember that? Remember like you could go in there and it's like, oh, good luck trying to get any hand sanitizer.
I remember when my wife and I were finding stashed bundles of toilet paper that people had stashed in various parts of the store to come back and get.
That's right, because remember when they were limiting people?
Yes.
You would get in line with like your kids, and you're like, everybody's getting a whole thing. I'm like, she's 2.
We actually found a 4-pack shoved behind some tubs of ice cream.
I'm like, what did you think was going to happen?
And we took it.
Damn Skippy, you should have. Took the ice cream as well.
We let it warm up before we used it.
Yeah, I would do that. I would definitely do that. You know what? I was telling everybody, we should be selling bidets. Those are great. Get some bidets, everybody. You have to worry about the toilet paper at that point in time. Urgh. All right, coming up, more on the War of Rock. Got some of your text messages. Yeah, got some of those things. Japanese workers, this is interesting. Gen Z and the boomers, what are they doing to these Japanese workers? It is so bizarre. But back in the day in Japan, when you went to work for a company, it was for life. And now they don't know what to do with these people. We'll talk about that, among other things, straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. A CENTCOM spokesperson says 18 U.S. service members have been seriously wounded as part of the military operation against Iran. Earlier today, CENTCOM announcing the deaths of a 4th U.S. service member from yesterday's attack in Kuwait. 2 U.S. officials have told ABC that attack occurred in Kuwait. At a morning briefing, President Trump, in his first remarks since the U.S. U.S. and Israeli joint military strikes began on Iran. Says the operation could last for another 4 to 5 weeks. ABC's Mary Bruce says the president called Iran an imminent threat.
There are still some very big questions here about what evidence the president had of this imminent threat and going forward on how long this campaign is going to last. You heard the president there saying whatever it takes. Of course, this is the president who promised not to drag the U.S. into prolonged foreign conflict.
The expanded conflict in the Middle East also impacting global oil prices, which are shooting up and leading to an uptick in gas prices here. This is ABC News.
Stay with Super Talk 99.7 WTN for continuing coverage on air and online. Here in Nashville, a new bill aims to stop businesses from using algorithms that tailor prices to individual shoppers. Channel 4's Braden Ross says the bill's sponsor, Nashville Democrat State Rep John Ray Clemens, says these systems can quietly charge different customers different amounts for the same product.
The ban on algorithmic pricing wouldn't apply to insurance or services like Uber or airline prices. Clemens says he's gotten a lot of support for the bill from both sides of the aisle. The legislation is still working its way through the legislature, but if it passes, it would likely go into effect in July.
And Nashville Electric Service says it's launched a newly enhanced outage map following the ice storm. The upgraded tool designed to make it easier for customers to track outages and report them when their power goes out. NES says it can now handle much higher traffic on days with widespread problems. More improvements coming, it says, including restoration timelines and estimated times for power to return. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Back to 70s tomorrow, and by the middle to end of the week, temperatures will be right around the low 80s.
Oh, kids, my friends over at Busy Bee, you know what? They want to know. When something goes wrong, they can help you, right? That's what they do. The team shows up fast, fixes it right, treats you like family. That's Busy Bee. That's what they do. That's who they are. So you trust the pros, and they are. You know, we always talk about our guys over there. They're just awesome. Brock and Nate and everybody. They're going to come take care of you. Right now is the perfect time to upgrade. When you purchase a 16-SEER high-efficiency HVAC system or a whole home repipe, Busy Bee will give you a Yeti Tundra 45 cooler free. That's right, Yeti cooler, and this month only. So get to it. Busy Bee has TVA rebates available for tune-ups and unit replacements. Even better, their team files the paperwork for you. What's that mean? No hassle, no headaches, and if you want even more saving, the Beehive Club membership, they've got it going right now. Keep your home humming year-round. Members get priority scheduling, discounted repairs, free annual HVAC and plumbing checks, extended warranties, and so on. Peace of mind right there with your friends over at Busy Bee, because you know your equipment is always running at its best. It's an easy way to save money, avoid breakdowns, and protect your home. Call 615-775-7833 or visit busybeehvac.com today. portion of the program is brought to you by NCA, National Certified Alarms. No long-term contracts. License number 645. A lot of you chiming in about the prices. It's too damn expensive, man. Life's too damn expensive. I don't think it's going to, I think a lot of people worried about the oil. Oil's going to go through the roof. OPEC came out and said that that's not going to happen. They're going to pump more oil if need be, right? Because they need us to also protect them because some of the stuff that's flying over is heading towards Saudi Arabia, who the bitterest of enemies, even maybe more so than Israel and Iran, is probably Iran and Saudi Arabia. Those are probably, they're way more bitter than what you see. So it's an interesting, this whole thing, it's terrifying because we're dealing with the fact that we could be getting drawn into something, which everybody's like, well, you didn't serve. I mean, when people say that, it's like, well, okay, so did you play professional sports? You didn't? Well, then you can never talk about sports. Did you? I mean, that's ridiculous. If you want us to, that's like saying, well, Trump can't do anything because he didn't serve. I mean, that's ridiculous. We're all in this. Everybody wants our vote. Last I checked, they want our vote. Which, by the way, primaries already start tomorrow in Texas. It's go time in Texas. Good God. When's our primary here? We know? Look that up for me, Bell. When is our primary? It's in, because I was looking at so many of them today. So our primary is coming up soon. And then you're going to start, by the way, we already apologize. You guys are going to start hearing a lot of commercials. A lot of those commercials that are going to be like the ones where they're going to go, I stand for this, this, and this, this, and this. This is who I am. I totally 100% behind this awesome commercial. So be prepared to be bombarded. We're just letting you guys know right there.
Early voting starts April 15th and goes through April 30th.
April 30th. Yeah. Okay. So we're still a ways away. All right. Whew. Yeah. The Texas one's going to be interesting because you got Paxton and Cornyn there. Because everybody's wondering, can Texas go blue? Paxton's going to have a tough time. He tried to say today, I was impeached like Trump was impeached. And here's the problem. We knew for you, Paxton, we knew who Trump was, right? Yeah, you cheated on your wife, and then you're cheating with another woman, supposedly, who has 7 kids and is married. We knew who Trump was. You pretended to be the other person.
I was looking at the wrong thing. It's actually early voting starts July 17th and ends August 1st for the primary and general elections.
Okay. So then there we go. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to some of these things run late. I think it's New Hampshire, Vermont. One of they're like mid-October is their primaries. And then you've got November. So you got like a week to get ready kind of thing. But I mean, a lot of those places, it's just one party rule. So it doesn't really matter. I don't think we're going to have any upsets here. I don't. But I think that the Texas thing is interesting. I think they could see if that Tallarico guy gets by Crockett, and I think he's going to. But I don't think you've got to get 50+1 there. And then if Paxton, who I think is probably going to win for the Republicans, but they're both going to be runoffs. You're looking at, I think he has a shot of beating because Paxton is not, outside of a small group, he's not super popular there. Cornyn, I think, would be both. Jasmine Crockett, she just says stuff that's crazy. And she gets, because she understands the algorithms, which is important in today's world. She understands how to get people to pay attention. Absolutely, because that's what it's all about. In fact, I was watching, what's his name? Mark Cuban talk about the algorithm world and why Mondani does so well. And Tallarico's done. First of all, they've grown up in a world of only the internet. And they understand how to work the internet. They understand how to use the algorithms. They understand that. And Trump has taught them a lot of that. The amount of free stuff that Trump got his first go-around when he ran for president, because he would go on Morning Joe every day. He would go on CNN all the time. He was on Fox all the time. He didn't care. Not only did he figure out how to reach the people through his tweets, but he would go on everybody's show all the time. It was billions of dollars, you could probably break it down to, of free advertising. Even now, super accessible. I was watching Jonathan Karl from ABC News talk about the fact that he just picked up the phone and called him yesterday to ask him questions about, Iran. And he picked up the phone and he talked to him. And he goes, yeah, I'm always surprised that he does. Super accessible. He gets it. A lot of other people don't. And that's what, that is what Mark Cuban was talking about, how so many of the people, especially in the Democrat Party, first of all, they're always going to choose the worst path possible in cultural issues. They care about activists, not the average person. So that's why they fail all the time. But I thought it was very interesting what he said.
In 2024, you campaigned with Vice President Kamala Harris, who you endorsed. But having now had a chance to reflect on this, and I know that Democrats from across the country are coming to you saying, what should Democrats be doing differently? What are Democrats getting wrong? You have said Democrats can't sell anything. I mean, here you are selling an idea, selling reform, selling healthcare, selling cheaper drug prices. What are Democrats getting wrong, though? Like, what can they learn?
Everything.
How do you assess?
Yeah. You have to be a problem solver first. Democrats used to be a party of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
They no longer are. It used to be people that were part of the party were focused on solving the problem as opposed to creating policy first, because creating policy in this environment particularly is all about getting elected first as opposed to solving problems. And I think they've got it backwards.
Yeah.
I think you have to solve problems, which demonstrates to voters that you're able to solve problems and that they support people who can.
Do you think Kamala wasn't able to do that?
Kamala, it wasn't that she wasn't able to do that. She wasn't given the opportunity.
Right.
Because nobody was going to give her the opportunity to solve any problems. Because she couldn't. She couldn't. They knew that. And that was a big, at the end of the day, Ken and I laugh about it all the time. That was the biggest FU that you could have seen, was when Biden goes, and I'm getting behind Kamala, because he knew they were screwed. They were absolutely screwed. But she couldn't solve any of the problems. She couldn't solve any problems when she was in California, right? And she was in the Senate. She was at the AG. She couldn't solve any of those problems because she's not a problem solver. She's a politician that knows how to politic enough to be in places and get herself elected and or handed something.
To pitch any of that. They could, Democrats, if you gave the Democrats a chance to sell dollar bills for 50 cents, they would try to pass a law that made it happen before just doing it.
One of the things you've pointed to Donald Trump, Zohran Mamdani, James Tallarico, the candidate who's running for Senate in Texas, as individuals who can leverage the attention economy effectively.
Yes.
Is that what any candidate needs to be able to do?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what you're doing. So to be a successful Democrat in the next wave, I mean, I know they're asking you for advice. Are you telling them
yes,
you have to win at this attention game?
Yes, you have to understand that in an algorithmic world where people get almost all of their information via social media, everybody has their own individual feed. If you want to know what a person's all about, look at what their Instagram or TikTok or Facebook feed is. And if you don't flood the zone, to quote Steve Bannon, right? If you don't flood the zone and do things that gain the attention of the algorithm and have it feed people, you're forgotten. You're lost. Look at when Donald Trump was saying they're eating cats and dogs. It wasn't because he thought people were literally eating cats and dogs. He knew, he was smart enough to know that's how you get attention in an algorithmic world.
And that it's say the most insane things, even if you don't believe it. And for those of you out there who don't quite understand, I've been in this business 30 years. I know a lot of the people that you see, like, oh, they don't believe 75% of the crap they say. You know what they like, though? They like a paycheck, and they're willing to say stuff that's ridiculous and laugh about it.
Especially if it gets you to vote for them.
Yeah. And the same thing goes for people who are influencers. I know a lot of influencers who say stuff that I know they do not believe one bit, but they do it because it's great for business. Saying stuff that's ridiculous, going over the top, because we don't live in a time where you would be held accountable if you got something wrong or said something that's ridiculous anymore. People just go, oh, because it's the algorithms.
Mondami here in New York, right? He's Trump Jr. He's a little clone of Trump. James Tallarico and Mondami, you know what they have in common?
No.
They both grew up in an era where Donald Trump was the dominant politician that was dominated by social media. And you look at Mondami, brilliant at social media, right? I told the Democrats they should hire his team, pay him $10 million each to take them from him, because that'll get them further along than buying $50 million worth of ads on linear media.
So true. So true. $50 million in ads. I mean, and that's what Trump did. And Mamdani, here's the thing. Tallarico's politics can play in a bigger place. If you guys don't know him, he's like 37. He's a pastor. He's a Democrat. He is, it's very, when I do my national show, I have a lot of stations in Texas, and I get a lot of people who are on the right who say, I'm really interested. I went and watched him speak. He's an interesting character because they're frustrated, which is understandable. We should all be frustrated because there's a lot to be frustrated about, but they're interested in this guy. Mondani's politics plays in New York, Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, Los Angeles. Doesn't play anywhere else. It doesn't. But he understands. He understands the algorithms. I mean, go look at it. You can have a disdain for him and his, and which, by the way, Trump does it. Trump loves the guy. Trump loves the guy, which I'm always fascinated about. They text all the time. All the time they text. And Trump loves the fact that he's not afraid to go after him. But even this past week, he goes and visits him. They're talking about affordable housing. And he tells Trump, hey, you got a girl who's in custody, DHS. And he's like, oh, I'll get her out. And you laugh because that's Trump. But he admires him because he looks at him and thinks, oh, this guy's kind of doing what I did. Populism. Going a totally different way. But a lot of what he says is the same. We just have a different way that we want to get there. Which, again, is interesting. But the Democrats, that's the beauty of the Republicans, as bad as they have floundered many things. You just have to leave it to the Democrats. Just, what do you always say? Don't talk when the other team's kicking their own ass?
Never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake.
Yeah, and they will. They will. They will make a mistake over and over again. Over and over again. That's why it's bizarre that primaries are so important the way they are, because the fervent supporters come out, and a lot of times you see people get through, and candidates, the quality of candidates matter, and those people, they can't win a general. They can get a small percentage to vote, but they can't win a big general. All right, coming up, Japan doing something with old workers. And by old, I mean people in their 50s. Not like us guys in our 40s, 30s, 20s, but in their 50s. We'll talk about that straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7.
Streaming on the Super Talk 99.7 WTN app.
Oh, kids, Omaha Steaks is delicious and delivering it right to you, the best of the best when it comes to sirloins, when it comes to fillets wrapped in bacon, when it comes to smash burgers, dogs, you name it, they've got it all packaged and ready to go. Protein at 50% off. What? Yeah, that's right. Semi-annual sale going on right now. The semi-annual sale is this. 50% off, site-wide, and when you use my code Benson, you're going to get another $35 off at checkout. And you can choose from whatever you want. It is site-wide. They got seafood. They got it all. They got desserts. If you only want fillets, they got that. They have everything, and it's ready for you to be delivered. The price that will not break the bank, and it's 100% unconditional money-back guarantee, meaning bite for bite, you're not happy, you send it back, you get your money back, no questions asked. Since 1917, Omaha Steaks has been America's butcher, and they're saving big right now. 50% off site-wide. When you use my code Benson, you're going to get yourself an extra $35 off when you go to omahasteaks.com and use my code Benson. That's omahasteaks.com, code Benson. Save 50% site-wide, and when you use that code Benson, get an extra $35 off at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details.
Operation Epic Fury update. Tennessee lawmakers moving to ban personalized algorithmic pricing that uses your data to detect what you pay. These stories and more coming up at 2 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, boys. So, in Japan, when you go to work in Japan, way back in the day, used to be for life. Okay? So you go there, you work for life. Now, those folks are older and they're useless. So what do? They have rooms where they literally have people in their 50s and 60s who just sit there and stare out the window with no computer, just a desk. How weird is that?
Well, especially from that culture, because they hold ancestors and family in such reverence.
Yes. So, and when you would say that, because these companies would fight hard to get you So their culture is, first of all, samurais, awesome. But Godzilla, pretty cool. You know, you work your ass off in school all the way up through high school. College is a cakewalk. College is nonstop party in Japan. Then you get out and you get a job. And that job, for the most part, it's going to be your job for life. And they promise you, you're going to work there for life. This is your thing. We're going to be a team for life. And then what happens? Well, life has passed people by. AI, computers, these companies have all of this dead weight. And so what do? They don't fire you because, as Bell said, there's a certain part of the culture that would be shameful. So instead, what they do is they just stick you in a room and you look out a window all day.
And get a paycheck?
I'm
in. Where's the room?
I was going to say, can you work on your farm town?
Probably.
It'd have to be on your phone.
Yeah, it'd have to be on your phone. I don't even think they want you touching anything.
Oh, hopefully they don't have a policy against that.
No. Well, I don't if you want to work on your farm town. But it just shows you that the culture, though, is, and this is why their culture, though, has struggles when it comes to stagnation, when they should have downsized years ago, but they continue to pay people to do nothing. That's insane. I mean, I'm always fascinated. Like, California you have the strongest teachers unions whatsoever. In California, in Los Angeles in particular, there is a bunch of bungalows in downtown Los Angeles that if you're a teacher that is suspended, you go there and you sit there all day with the other teachers. No matter what you're suspended for, it could be some of the most heinous stuff, and they just sit in these rooms.
Are you allowed to talk?
Yeah, they just sit there and do nothing.
Oh, so it's not like when you get suspended in school.
No, they could deem you to be just an idiot who shouldn't be teaching kids, but you can't fire them because on average it takes about $750,000 to $1 million to fire a teacher in California. So what do? It's easier to stick you over there and have you do nothing. I'm fascinated by that. And you know what I'm fascinated by? People that will say that's okay. Like, you have nothing inside of you that would want to go, okay, this is not who I am. I'm better than this. Apparently not. Very interesting. But if you want to go to Japan to get a job for life and then eventually look out of a window with nothing to do or play Farm Town, Japan's got you covered. Coming up, hour number 3 of the program. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
Two o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Operation Epic Fury. The death toll for U.S. troops has risen to 4, with at least 18 additional service members recovering from shrapnel wounds and concussions. Coordinated U.S.-Israeli strikes have hit Iranian command centers, airfields, and hardened military sites. In response, Iran has fired missiles toward its neighbors, including Israel and U.S. bases there in the region. ABC's Matt Rivers is in Jordan with the latest on what he's seen over the past several days.
What we see up here are missiles flying in the westerly direction headed toward Israel. We've seen interceptors going up and exploding, some of them on their way. We've seen Jordanian fighter jets circling the city here all day long, hearing them, seeing them both. So what we're seeing here in Jordan really is a microcosm of what we're seeing across all those countries.
President Trump earlier said today that Operation Epic Fury will continue, he says, 4 to 5 weeks, but can go as long as needed, and he says it will. Right now in Nashville, Channel 4's Braden Ross says legislation's advancing in the General Assembly that bans companies from using personal data to determine how much you pay as opposed to someone else.
This scenario might sound familiar.
You can just say something in your house, and the minute you open your phone, you see an ad for that.
Well, that happens because your devices are constantly keeping track of your data, what you search, what you buy, what you like. But what many people don't know is that data could actually change how much you pay for things.
You could be charged more for the same good then I would be charged at the exact same moment. That's just inherently unfair.
It's called algorithmic pricing. Companies take your data, like your shopping history, and use AI to determine how much you'd be willing to pay for something. And then they personalize your price based on that.
Now, exceptions would remain for certain financial institutions and regulated rideshare fare calculations. If approved, these new rules could start on July 1st here in Tennessee. NES rolling out what it says is a revamped power outage map as part of its response to the massive winter storm that knocked out electricity to more than 230,000 Nashvillians and some outside of Nashville who have to rely on NES. The utility says the updated tool offers clearer information and a more user-friendly design. Customers can still report outages directly through the map. NES plans to add restoration estimates in future updates. And some money news now from Jim Ryan.
Wall Street is waiting for the next jobs report due out Friday. Early estimates say it'll show about 60,000 positions were created last month. Traders also have been trying to get a handle on how AI will impact various industries. Apple has begun a week of product launches with an announcement about pricing. The new iPhone 17e is a budget model of the iPhone 17 lineup. It starts at $599 compared to the $799 standard 17. And McDonald's is celebrating National Egg McMuffin Day today. Customers who order through the app can get one for $1. Tomorrow, McDonald's introduces what it's calling the Big Arch Burger. Says it'll be the chain's biggest and boldest burger yet.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Happy Monday. Portion of the program brought to you by NCA National Certified Alarms. No long-term contracts. License number 645. A lot of you chiming in about last hour talking about the Japanese workers. Can't everybody's for it.
Yeah.
So wait, you're going to pay me to stare out a window?
I can do that most of the time when I'm working anyway.
So I take my phone with me?
Like, if I could take my phone and work on my farm town, absolutely.
How big's your farm town?
I haven't checked in a while. Last time I checked, everything had died in it, except for the pigs. And the chickens, they were still running around.
The pigs and the chickens were fine.
Yeah, they were fine, but the crops died. And that's where you make your money.
That is where you make
in
your
Farmtown.
money. I have never played Farmtown. I'm always fascinated. My uncle, who's a big video game designer, for those of you guys, we have a business together. My uncle was employee number 6, I think, at Blizzard. So World of Warcraft, Diablo.
Ooh,
like Diablo is his baby, Ethereal, the thing with no face. He drew that when he was like 12 years old. His favorite game he plays is this game. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, don't ask. He's playing like Sally's Beauty Salon, where he has beauty salons all over the globe. He's, dude, I have like 160 of these beauty salons all over the globe. It's just it's so bizarre, the games.
You ever had people approach you on those games, like try to get you to connect with them?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Yeah,
no.
I was like, no.
Weird.
Leave me
You're
alone.
weird.
Leave me alone.
You're weird. We're going to bomb you, so it doesn't matter. But
I've got to get to my corn.
What did you grow? What was your crop?
Well, I figured out I went with the most expensive, that I could get a lot of money off of. And from what I remember, cotton was, you could get a lot of money for that, but it died too soon. And I would always forget to go back and, harvest it. And then I just got too busy altogether and
just moved to Japan. Problem solved.
Problem solved. Now you could focus on growing the right stuff in the way that you do it. What are they doing over there? What are they growing over there? What's their go-to that you can figure out so that way you can save them? No sticky icky?
The Merida Hoochie.
Oh, man, that'd be great.
So what's an average work day in Japan? Is it 8 hours yeah, it's
hours? It's probably one of those like 8 to 6 kind of things, And then afterwards you have to go out and karaoke, apparently. Save face. I'm not lying. It's weird. They do.
They love karaoke.
They do.
Well, they invented it.
Yeah, they love it. They love to sing Dolly Parton and anything they can get from Journey. But that, because you know what? It's so much of their culture is built on certain things that you do. And like I was telling Belle, what you don't do, you never, if somebody gives you a business card from Japan, you never put it in your wallet and then put it in your back pocket and sit down. That's disrespectful. You do what? It always goes in your front pocket if you have a dress shirt on, up top, because there's just certain things that you do. And karaoke, not BSing, that's like a serious thing. Golf is very serious. How many of them, have you ever seen all of the massive golf driving ranges they have over there? They're like 6 stories because it's business. It's business. So they learn to play golf because it's business.
Yep. Wheeling and dealing.
It's always about wheeling and dealing. Cotton, I think that's racist. Well, then, 1831.
Cotton, strawberries would make you a bunch of money on Farmtown.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
So
then I tried to spell things out in my crops, and that didn't work very well because one crop would die before the other crop.
Oh, man.
And then other players started hitting on me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they like you'd be in the marketplace and your little avatar's walking around. And all of a sudden, one would walk up to you. How are you doing?
Really?
Yeah. Hey. Hi.
That is bizarre.
Hi, handsome.
I've never, you know what? I've had some come up to me in games, and it's kind of just a bizarre, because it is weird. Like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, I'm not even good at this game.
Yeah. I'm just wanting to buy a horse.
Yeah. Yeah. That is exactly it. All I want to do is play this game that I suck at for a little while, that I'm going to lose at in minutes.
I'm not looking for afternoon delight.
No.
I'm a farmer.
Yeah. So, but I'm always fascinated by it because my kids will play games. My uncle plays games with like kids all over the world. He'll play stupid games, and I'm like, yeah, my team is full of 14-year-olds that maybe 50. You don't know. And he goes, they all have the worst language.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. This is my, what is it that he plays? And it's like, this is my clan or whatever, because they're all going around fighting orcs or whatever. What do you play? Belle, what's your go-to game? What's it called?
I used to play MMOs, which is what you're talking about, but now I just play a single-player game called 7 Days to Die. It's about zombies.
That's it.
Ah, yeah, zombie games.
Those are good. Those are good games. I'm horrible at games.
I am too. I'm terrible at them.
I am so bad. I had one of the first cowboy games. Cole was the name. All it said was Cole over and over again. I couldn't get him to move. He got stuck like on a rock, and it just, come on, Cole. And it was just Chris Christopherson for like an hour going, come on, Cole. Cole couldn't go anywhere. Took it back the next day. I'm like, this game's stupid.
Yeah, if I was to join, like a group of people, playing games, they would kick me out because I would get the group killed very quickly.
Yeah, we're
watched that happen.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it is. I am just horrible. It's like my uncle will say, "Come on, play a game with me tonight." I'm like, "All right, I'll play it." I'm just horrible. And then like my kids will say, "Come play." What's the Fortnite?
Fortnite.
Yeah. So I'll go play Fortnite with them, and they get mad because I always end up towards the end good because I just go and hide. The goal is to win. I don't need to kill anybody. If the goal is to win, all I have to kill is one person. Who is it? The last person.
That's right. You just hide.
That's it. The last person. But they like it when I go engage and then talk because they know I'm going to lose, and it's hilarious because I suck at games.
There was a YouTube channel I used to follow, and it was this guy that was just phenomenal at impressions. And he would go into games and be playing the games, but playing them as like Peter from Family Guy or as Obama or as, it's just any number of people. And people, Kanye, he pretended he was Kanye.
He's dropping the N-bomb and telling everybody he's a Nazi.
And everybody is just trying to figure out if they need to believe this guy or not because his impressions are so precise.
and you always hear stories about, who was I watching the other day that is a big star that he played for years with the same group of people, and they had no idea that he was a megastar.
Yeah. Henry Cavill did that.
Yeah, it was Henry Cavill. That's who it was. They had no idea that that's Superman, right? They were just boys with this guy, and they'd get on and they would play. And I think that's hilarious. No, I don't. You know what? If you could do that with Atari, I'd be all over it.
Can you imagine, though, if they were talking to him and they're like, so what do you do in real life? Well, I'm an actor.
Yeah.
What's your name? Henry Cavill. Oh, you are not.
See, they wouldn't believe him. They wouldn't believe him. But they never really. It's weird because you can hang out with somebody and play games and you never really, you know them. Hey, I'll be on tomorrow at 7. Like people are asking, hey, when does Bell play? When does Bell play his game? When does he play? Like they want to do. But you would never know who these people are, right? But you can join them and play with them for years and just know their first name or their gaming name. Like when people used to come up to you in Farmville, which I find it weird. Like how do they come up? Farmtown. How do they do it?
Well, there's a place where you used to be able to go. I haven't been on there in a long time. I gotta get back on there. But anyway, you could go to the market. That's where you sell all the crops that you've harvested. And it was a place where everybody's avatars were. And that's where people who are on the game to try to reach out and make social connections with other people would, one avatar would approach another one, and you could text back and forth or whatever. So it was in the marketplace. That's where you had to be careful.
Yeah, because somebody's probably trying to steal your pigs.
Yeah.
Right? They're trying to get a good deal.
Well, they're just trying to hook up with you.
Yeah.
That's what they were trying to do.
There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, when I hear the words Farmtown, I think, ooh, date.
Yeah. Farmtown. Although,
they probably figured there's a lot of lonely people on this.
There is a lot of lonely people trying to build up their pretend farms. People ask, what do you do? I'm a farmer. I got 23. How many acres did you have?
I don't know. I didn't know how many. It was a relatively small farm. It was enough for a nice size house and had a couple of pickup trucks and, a couple of combines and that sort of thing.
Somebody said Ken's game is Frogger. Oh, I was good at Frogger. Sorry. I was good at Joust. Remember Joust?
I do remember Joust.
Yeah, Joust was fun.
What was Joust? Try to explain it to your kids. Well, I drove around on a giant ostrich and I fought other people.
Fly.
Yeah, that could fly, weirdly, and we would joust each other. That was it. So Farmtown is pimp service, basically. That's it.
It could be if you allowed it to go that way.
Yeah.
Unless you were an honest farmer like myself.
You were an honest farmer indeed. I'm an honest farmer. I never played Farmtown. Is it Farmville too? That's the other one.
Yeah, there was a Farmtown, then a Farmville. And it seems like Farmville's graphics were a lot better than Farmtown's.
Farmtown. Farmersonly.com.
That's a real place.
That is a real place. Remember a Family Guy? We're not saying no black people, but you know. It's just so awful. That's not very nice, Chad. Oh, my farmersonly.com. That's probably what that was. Come to Farmville. Did you name your farm? Was it Tegrity Farms?
No, I can't. I don't think I did.
Oh, my God.
But I did have a nickname, but I can't remember what. I think I was Ted Farmer. And trying to make a joke on 16 Candles, Farmer Ted.
Oh, Farmer Ted. I
was like Ted Farmer or something like because somebody already stole Farmer Ted.
Oh, I bet.
So I just used it backward.
I bet.
I showed him.
I bet. I don't. Charlie and I play. God, what's the name of her little game? We'll play it together. It's this little city that she's got all of these, and you make your own character.
All right.
Right. You go on in there. Toka Life World. And we go, and she builds these communities, and she talks to herself, and she's building these things, and then look at this hair, and then we go, and I'll hide my character. It is so much fun, but it's crazy. Somebody just said it's crazy how much money people spend. Yeah, it is so crazy how much money. So I remember when my uncle when he was first gaming with Blizzard and they were starting their thing, and this was back in the day when there was they had no money. Blizzard did. They were paying everybody on credit cards. That's you better get to the bank. And one of the things they said, they got to the point where it's okay, we got to start giving people rewards, right? So go back and get your badges, right? So you would have guys who were the highest level of World of Warcraft go all the way back to the beginning because they needed some sort of badge. Then they realized it's not about charging somebody $69 for a game. It's about giving them the game for free and then charging them for in-game purchases, in-app purchases. Because those things add up over time. You may spend $10 a month. Next thing you know, you looked up and instead of $69.99, you spent $120.
Yep.
That's insane. So smart. So damn smart.
The subscription model did not make near the amount of money that in-game purchases made for.
Yeah, it didn't. It didn't. Not even close. And I think it was the Harry Potter game where they charged $69 and it sold so many. Then they realized this is all we're going to get. We're only getting our $69 for this thing. And we could have given it away like they do with my kids still come to me for Fortnite. Dad, there's a new skin. I want to be Peter Griffin or I want to be Santa Claus or Van Halen. Everybody has got a skin.
Yeah, that's a licensing machine too.
Yeah.
That just there was I don't know if it's still in there, but for a while there were Metallica skins.
So the Metallica, they just had Carpenter, right? What's her name? Sabrina Carpenter.
Karen.
Everybody's got one. The Simpsons, you name it. It is because it's like I said, it's a massive money machine. And people want to buy it. And then I get, because I'm going to play this person because I know I'm going to lose, Because again, when I play, if you ever play against me, know that I'm hiding. That's all I do. Because all I have to do, it's like the movie Highlander. There can be only one. I only have to win one time because I'm such a good hider.
That actually sounds kind of fun, hiding from everybody in a video game.
Yeah, because you drop down and then you look around and you could see where people are, and then your goal is to get near them but hide, right? Get near them because I don't know how to pick anything up, right? I just start pushing, right? I can move, but oh my God, I'm just horrible at it. It is funny though. It is funny. I've spent $1,000 of Robux and V-Bucks.
Wow.
Oh yeah, we have too. I don't even want to talk about that with our kids. So RPG game, Mafia Mofo.
Mafia Mofo?
Yeah, they own the game, they said. Angie said. They owned it. So we own the game, if you understand that. We also had Crazy's telling us that we're going to get kidnapped, our kids, if we do not give them points. People are nuts for games, kids. People are nuts. All right, coming up, who knows what we're going to talk about. Whatever it is, it's going to be fun because that's who we are. That's what we're about. This is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. If you're worried about AI and the chaotic world of investing in AI or many other things, let me tell you something. Our good friends over at Bulwark can help you with that. Maybe you aren't quite sure what all this stuff's about. Could it pop at any moment? And what will things like the war potentially do to your retirement? Talk to my friends over there. I'll give you a free Know Your Risk portfolio review. It doesn't cost you anything but a little bit of time. Go to knowyourriskpodcast.com and sign up today. What they're about is lower risk, lower cost, lower volatility. All right? And through that risk management, build around fundamentals of value investing, knowing full well that there are opportunities out there. And by the way, as we always like to say, and I did as a kid, up and down, right? Doesn't matter, right? Somebody's making money, somebody's losing money, and they'll show you what it is that they're all about. So what are you waiting for? Get a free second set of eyes on your retirement, on your investments from our friends at Bulwark Capital. I swear by them, they're amazing. Sign up today at knowyourriskpodcast.com. That's KNOW, yourriskpodcast.com for the Know Your Risk portfolio review from my friends at Bulwark Capital Management. Investment advisory service offered through Trek Financial LLC and SEC registered investment advisor. Investment fall risk not a guarantee. Past performance not guarantee future results. Trek 2647.
Operation Epic Fury update. Also in Austin, Texas, law enforcement giving an update there on Sunday night's mass shooting that could be linked to terrorism. And a new bill in Tennessee aims to stop businesses from using algorithms that tailor prices to individual shoppers. Details coming up at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Oh, a lot of you chime in. I didn't know that they're going to do, what is it? Grand Theft Auto 6? $120? $120.
I think that thing's been on the schedule forever, though.
Yeah, it is.
You get to shoot people in that?
Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of horrible things you can do.
Yeah, you can like run them over with cars, and
there's hookers.
You can beat hookers. And
There's hookers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's the worst. Take the Fast and Furious and then put that together with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Porky's, and you've got that. That's crazy.
Goodness.
$120. God, that's insane.
And people will pay it.
Yeah. Now, do they have in-app purchases or no?
I don't know. I haven't played GTA since like number 4.
Yeah, GTA. It's a driving game and a shooting game.
GTA, man.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto. God, the amount of money that they make off those is insane. It's so insane. Somebody goes, "Who is your uncle?" And I sent him something because there's a wiki Diablo thing, and I'm reading about my uncle. He's part of Blizzard Entertainment, Diablo. He designed a cinematic version of Ethereal. He made the angel faceless in part to give him a sense of mystery. But here's the real reason. In part because he ran out of time. They had to have it done at a certain time. Everybody was behind. Paul said, I can't think of anything. He's going to go faceless, and he's been faceless ever since. Oh, I just did. He goes, we were out of time. I had nothing. I'm like, I designed him like I had nothing. Got nothing. Not a damn thing. Iran will not negotiate with us.
Who's going to negotiate?
Yeah, you killed everybody who can negotiate. By the way, they negotiated last week, and you were like, we're going to bomb you guys. They come out, they're like, we think we did a good job. And they come out like, they have no idea if we're going to bomb. They were all on their phones. Like, whoa, yeah, we're texting the president. Really, they're playing Farmville. They were playing Farmville. So that is crazy. $120, man. We got to come up with So how about we come up with a video game where we catch tuna?
Yeah, that and make candles.
Make candles. Yeah, we'll call it tunapreneuring. Where we do the best in tuna. Oh, my goodness me. It's a long war? Probably not. I don't know how much longer this thing's going to go on. I mean, we can't stay there for years, right? Well, we can, but we shouldn't. And I don't think the Republicans can stay there much longer than the next, I'd say, 2 to 3 weeks. First of all, I think we're going to run out of ammo. We're going to run out of our stockpile is depleted, and it was already depleted. And that 12-day war was supposed to be a lot longer, but they looked and they said, yeah, let's just call it at this. And there's a potential that we could run out. You know, we can't be there for a long time.
Well, there's some defense contractors out there salivating right now.
Yeah, but it's how fast can you build the things that we would need? And especially because of the suicide drones, which have changed everything. They have changed so much because they're cheap. You can get them. You could build, basically, you can get any kind of drone and make it something now that is super dangerous in a way that you never could. But it costs $200, $300, $400 for some of these things. And you kit them out as basically they're suicide drones. They're just flying in, smashing into stuff and killing things. And that is scary with the way that they're doing these things. And they can swarm. So fighting a conventional way that we thought, they'll lob missiles, we'll shoot them down. Totally different now. So we'll talk a little bit about that, among other things. Reach out to us across all of our social media. Like and subscribe as well. This is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
.2:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Operation Epic Fury escalating overnight with confirmation that 4 U.S. service members have been killed since the campaign started. American and Israeli aircraft, including F-35s and carrier-launched fighters, continue striking Iranian missile and nuclear support infrastructure. ABC's Matt Rivers says Iran's retaliation includes multiple waves of drones and missiles targeting cities and bases across the Middle East.
Dozens and dozens and dozens of Iranian missiles have been fired at these countries, U.S. military bases in those countries. Most of them have been intercepted, but we have seen the deadly nature of some of those strikes. So that's what we've seen the last couple of days, and that's certainly what we're expecting to see as this situation continues. Iran not showing any signs yet that it's going to slow down this missile barrage.
Now, the Pentagon says the operation is going to accelerate, aimed at dismantling Iran's ability to threaten the region. And in Austin, Texas.
This has been difficult for our community, devastating to the impacted families, and challenging to our APD family.
As Police Chief Lisa Davis giving an update on last night's mass shooting that killed 2 and injured around a dozen inside a crowded bar.
This is a complicated and large crime scene. Our priority is finding answers and the motives behind this crime.
Officials still considering the possibility of terrorism as a motive of the suspect, a 53-year-old naturalized U.S. citizen who was born in Senegal, after he was seen wearing clothing that referenced Allah and a T-shirt that referenced Iran moments before he opened fire. The suspected gunman was killed in a confrontation with police officers. And a new bill here in Tennessee aims to stop businesses from using algorithms that tailor prices to individual shoppers. Lawmakers argue these systems can quietly charge different customers different amounts for the same product. The bill classifies the practice as an unfair or deceptive act under state law. It's set to go into effect in July if it gets approved. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Warm summer-like temperatures are just around the corner. I'm WSMV4 First Alert Meteorologist Melanie Wadev. We warm back to the 70s tomorrow, and by the middle to end of the week, temperatures will be right around the low 80s.
The Wellness Institute of Nashville wants to get you well, and they can. 47% off right now. This is the 2026 special going on with our good friends over there at the Wellness. Dr. Mitchell is incredible. He's my doctor. He should be your doctor. If you got back, neck, sciatic, slip disc, you name it, they've got it. They're ready to help you, and they've got something nobody else does. Nobody. They've got the new HydroWave machine, which is incredible, okay? They got their anti-gravity machines, the robot lasers, all that stuff, but this is it. Nobody in Tennessee has it. Nobody. And it stimulates your stem cells. And it is incredible. It really is. It can get you back, get you moving. Start a pain-free life right now. It is absolutely possible with our good friends over at the Wellness Institute. Call them today, 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009. Check out everything they do at painisbad.com, painisbad.com for the Wellness Institute of Nashville.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUMP or visit 1-800-GOT-JUMP.com.
All right, guys, my friends over at Prize Picks are ready for you. Shoot your shot with Prize Picks right now. $50 instantly in lineup. So we play your first $5 lineup. It's America's #1 sports pick app. And it is awesome. You're picking more or less based on players' projected stats. And you guys know how it works, right? I'm going to remind you. You set a lineup, 2 or more players, based on more or less of their projected stats. It could be anything from baseball. Maybe you think Shohei Ohtani is going to get more than 1.5 hits in this game. It could be basketball. Oh, maybe Steph Curry hits more than 4.5 3-pointers in this game. It is that simple, and away you go. They've got early payouts. They got injury reboots. They got stacks. You name it. You can win up to 2,000 times your money. So what are you waiting for? Take advantage of this opportunity for your first lineup, right? $5 lineup. Guaranteed you're going to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Just download the app today. Use my code Chad. That's Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use code Chad to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. This portion of the program is brought to you by NCA, National Certified Alarms, no long-term contracts, license number 645. By the way, the fittest states in America came out. Let's let you guys know this. How do you think we're doing, fittest states?
About 2/3 of the way down.
Yeah, let's just put it this way. We have a little bit of a struggle bus going on with the fittest states. The South, it's tough for them to rise again. A little slower. So the worst is Mississippi, dead last. So the bottom 10. The only one in the West is Nevada. But, we're in the bottom 10. It is Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana's the bottom, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kentucky, us, and West Virginia. Just not good. Not good. The healthiest states are the hippie states. The hippies. Washington State, California, Utah. Utah's not really a hippie state, but they're very out. If you've ever, first of all, Utah's beautiful, but it is all about outdoors. Everything's outdoors in Utah. It's like, what are you doing? Going outdoors. Colorado's pretty fit. Then you get to New Jersey. I don't know how New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont. How's Vermont fit? Maple syrup. Right? Maple syrup. When I think of Vermont, I think of every Hallmark movie ever.
I should think of Bernie Sanders.
I was going to say maple syrup and Bernie Sanders. I got a great idea. We're going to tax the wealthy. We're going to take every penny they have, and we're going to put it into a piggy bank. It's going to be great. You're going to love this. Then it's going to work. Oh, my Lord. We are not fit is what I'm saying, people. We are on the struggle bus when it comes to fitness here in Tennessee. We're in the bottom 10.
Fitness pizza in my mouth.
That's right. I'm about to fit this pizza in my mouth. Mm-hmm. I had pizza this weekend. It was delicious. How was your sandwich, by the way?
Oh, it was awesome. Thanks again. That was really good.
We got him a meatball sandwich, meatball sub from Firehouse Subs. Delicious.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was so good. Ken.
Especially compared to some of the other so-called sandwich shops I've had meatball subs at. This was just kick-ass.
Yeah, it is. Firehouse does a hell of a job with them subs. I'll tell you guys that right now. They have that hook and ladder. Woo! Delicious. Fantastic. Incredible. Trump said today, the big wave is yet to come. I don't know what that means, honestly. Here's the thing. How do you negotiate when you don't even know who's running the country at this point in time? I mean, they probably have an idea, but as much as you may have an idea, these guys over here think they're running the country. And then these guys think they're running the country. So it's going to be a tough thing for them to do. Earlier today, Trump finally spoke to the American people, not via, just I filmed something and we put it out there in truth.
For almost 47 years, this regime has been attacking the United States and killing Americans. Every time you see someone with missing arms and legs or a face that's been absolutely shattered violently, It was almost certainly caused by an Iran roadside bomb. They were put there by General Soleimani, who was the father of the roadside bomb. Very proudly, he thought, but I terminated him. And
do you guys remember when he did that? He dropped that ninja. Was it a samurai bomb or a ninja bomb? And it was one of those bombs you dropped and it went into the car, and then it was like a Ginsu, and they just spun around and chopped them all to hell. That guy was arguably the most dangerous person in the Middle East, Soleimani. Nobody has a problem with that. Nobody had a problem with that.
My first term, this was our last best chance to strike what we're doing right now and eliminate the intolerable threats posed by this sick and sinister regime. And they are indeed sick and sinister. Our objectives are clear. First, we're destroying Iran's missile capabilities, and you see that happening on an hourly basis, and their capacity to produce brand new ones, and pretty good ones they make. Second, we're annihilating their navy. We've knocked out already 10 ships. They're at the bottom of the sea. Third, we're ensuring that the world's #1 sponsor of terror can never obtain a nuclear weapon, never going to have a nuclear weapon. I said that from the beginning. They're never going to have a nuclear weapon. They were on the road to getting one legitimately through a deal that was signed foolishly by our country. And finally, we're ensuring that the Iranian regime cannot continue to arm, fund, and direct terrorist armies outside of their borders. And we thought we had a deal, but then they backed out. And they came back, and we thought we had a deal, and they backed out. I said, you can't deal with these people. You got to do it the right way. Today, we grieve for the 4 heroic American service members who have been killed in action and send our love and support to their families. In their memory, we continue this mission with ferocious, unyielding resolve to crush the threat this terrorist regime poses to the American people, and a threat indeed it is.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much of a threat it was right this second, but we're in it now. So if we break it, we fix it. How much longer is this going to last? It's a fair question. I'm not for going to war. This has been sold to us on numerous occasions, and we should all be skeptical. It's not about whether or not you try. No, we should be skeptical of the powers that be that want to push us into stuff. In particular, Israel, who's pushing us into stuff. Absolutely. You should. And we should also, at a time when, we spent, 25 years in Afghanistan? And we handed back the country from the Taliban to the Taliban. So there was that.
Here, we don't want this toy anymore. We broke it. It's yours.
Yeah. By the way, just to let you guys know, last week the Taliban announced you can beat your wife, you just can't break any bones. So that's good.
And they're not allowed to go to school anymore.
Yeah. None of that stuff. None of that learning and whatnot. And who's a what. So, we're there now. What's it going to cost? How long is it going to take us? What is the true objective? From, they're killing their own people to they could have nukes. I mean, Ted Cruz came out today. It's like, they didn't really have nukes. I mean, we destroyed their nukes. Well, did we destroy them? Because you said that, but then we didn't. So these are all fair questions. We should all be a little gun shy. Every once in a while, it's okay to take a step back and go, maybe let's see what happens here. All right? Let's see if we can get them to agree to a deal. And they did agree to a deal that was better than what Obama. Not even close. It blew Obama's out of the water, including forever. Because the Obama one was going to sunset after 25 years. This would have been in perpetuity as far as inspections, what they could do with their, only medical purposes and certain energy purposes. Anything they enriched past a certain thing, they had to immediately get rid of. All of that. No, because it was never about that. This was always going to be about what did Israel want. Israel wanted this. But Israel's paying for it. They are. I mean, they have shut down communications. So, seeing anything out of there, why is that? Because they're getting bombed. I mean, we were talking earlier how blessed we are to live in this country where we don't get bombed on a daily basis, right? Our neighbor, white Mexico, they don't really do anything. And Mexico, they give us the drugs, which isn't good. It isn't. Kills a lot of people. By the way, Bell, did you see one of the pilots that crashed? It's a woman.
That was shot down?
It's a woman. No, they're not.
She survived, though, right?
She did.
Okay, so she can still make dinner tonight.
That's why I said that. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for something horrible. Friendly fire. Now, we lost 3 planes today, F-15s. But good news is all the pilots are fine. Everything's fine, except for the planes, which cost $90 million apiece. Those are not fine.
Were they F-35s?
F-15s.
Oh, okay.
So they were shot down over Kuwait. Some people are saying that Kuwait shot them down, but they are those things are gone. I don't know what they were doing. Kuwait must have just panicked because they're worried, because they were getting shelled. I mean, that's the problem right now is everything, remember, not everything works the way that they think. How many times have we seen this? They fire something off. They think it's going 8 miles and it goes 2. So in certain parts of these places, they're worried that maybe this could have been an attack from Iran because Iran's goal now is to just cause hell. Just try to suck everybody into the chaos for supporting America and allowing them to do stuff. But yes, she is fine. So somebody comes up to her and goes, "Do you need help?" He goes, he told her, "Hey, you're fine. You're safe here. Everything's good, right? Thanks for helping us. Thumbs up." So she's good.
Go make dinner.
That right there is a sexist comment. So what crap I'm spewing. I'm getting info out of Israel every minute. Okay. Do you think Israel would ever tell you anything that doesn't benefit Israel?
Maybe they got a direct line to Mossad.
Maybe. Do you think Israel would ever tell you anything that would go against Israel? I'm curious. It's like, you see what I'm saying? Like, do you think that maybe they would maybe tell you the things that they want you to hear? I'm just saying that that's possible. It's only fair. Kuwait did shoot him down. I'm telling you, they're going to take it out of some dude's check. He was getting 50,000 a week. Now he's going to have to pay 52,000 every paycheck.
It's just funny but sad.
Funny but sad. All right, coming up, Matt's in here. He'll take it away. We'll do our little welcome, Matt, on this beautiful Monday. It is Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7. Wrapping it up on this Monday. The one, the only Matt Murphy in his house. What's up, man?
Hello.
What are you up to?
How's everybody doing?
Doing all right. We're having a lot of fun day, as much as you can. You know, in between the war stuff, we're talking about Farmville. Was it Farmville, Ken? Farmland?
Farmtown.
See, I've talked about that. And I think I did Farmville.
Yeah.
And not Farmtown. But I did crops, man. I did corn. And
Was it through Facebook?
I was raising cows. Yeah, I think I saw it through Facebook. I know. I might still have it on my
Ken,
phone.
is yours a game or is it on Facebook kind of game?
It's on Facebook.
Okay, so there was competing farm games.
Well, I mean, you're not really competing against anybody but yourself.
So
you don't want to lose your crops, your pigs, and your chickens like I did.
Ken, with yours, did your if you're gone for a while and you come back and your cows need milking, would they sit on their butts and kind of hold their udders?
No.
This one did. It was funny.
That might have been Farmville.
I think I did Farmville. Wow. But eventually, you're off the farm and then you go into town and there's a marketplace and it got too much like real life. It's like I'm not here for real life. I'm here for just to have fun.
That's right. Farmville.
Farm crops.
Farmtown. Yeah, you don't want to actually have you have to keep they're like, do you want QuickBooks?
I think I was Farmville.
If it stops being fun, I quit.
That's right. We were talking about it because in Japan they have a bunch of workers, Matt, that are Gen X and boomers. And when you go to work for a lot of companies in Japan out of school, they promise you a job for life. They don't know what to do to these people, so they've just stuck them in rooms where they can just look out windows all day with nothing. They have nothing. They just have a desk, nothing on it, and they just sit there and get paid.
It's like public school teachers in New York City.
Yeah, we're talking about this when I said that we've got places in L.A. where they just have these big giant trailers, and these guys and gals just go sit there because they're so bad.
What do they call those? There's a word for that.
Shame.
Well, no, it is shame, but it's where they can't fire them because of the union contracts.
Yeah. Tenure?
But they can't allow them. No, these are teachers that cannot be allowed around kids.
Yeah.
Legally, they can't be around kids anymore, but they can't be fired.
You mean they're like predators?
Oh, there's some of those.
Some of them.
There was two guys who did horrific things to kids, and they filmed some of it and stuff inside of the classroom. They ended up still getting their pensions, even though they were eventually arrested, and it took them a while to fire them. But it takes $750,000 plus to fire a teacher in Los Angeles.
And
It's
they
not
just
worth
don't
it.
do it.
It's not worth it.
They just don't do it. So, yeah. So it wouldn't surprise me. So in Japan, they're just paying people to do nothing.
They just said they've got rooms where people just stare out the windows all day.
Well, and we were talking about this last week, and I know people don't want to hear it, and I'm not saying I support it. I'm not endorsing it, but universal basic income has, by most people who believe in free market capitalism, has kind of been pushed aside like that's a ridiculous idea. But with AI, and I spoke on this last week, that entry-level positions, the way that people get into the workforce is about to be eliminated in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And so what do we do with those people? And I believe that it brings the conversation about universal basic income back on the table.
So I've got a couple friends who are big-time partners in law firms, and they said the number one thing is we don't need any first or second year. We don't need no associates now. We have people through AI that can handle everything, and it is so much simpler. That's how you got all of your training, was being an associate first, second year, working 70 hours a week, doing that kind of stuff. None of that stuff's needed anymore.
Well, and 15 years ago, we were told by the people that were supposed to know, boy, oh boy, you better go to school and learn code.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You know what AI is really good at?
Code.
Writing code.
Yeah.
Right? So no one's going to need to know code anymore. And so where's the next level and the next step? And, I don't know. I don't know what the world brings in the next 5 years. But, I don't think it brings a lot more entry-level positions because of artificial intelligence.
No, things are going to change, and you have to figure out how you're going to adapt with them. But the one thing is we use a lot of our AI. The focus has been heavily government-wise through, not just the fun of going on ChatGPT or whatever, but through the military. The rest of the world is trying, especially places like China, they're trying to limit what it can do inside of the workforce because they don't want a bunch of angry, broke people sitting around going, I've got nothing to live for.
Well, and we have two, and then China has a big one, right? So there's three, there are three big competitors.
Yeah.
Am I thinking about this? There's one deep,
Yeah, so they've got DeepSeek.
DeepSeek.
Yeah, but we've got OpenAI. We've got the Chat GPTs. We've got there's a lot of. We've got the most of them, but their DeepSeek is really good.
Yeah, I think I was watching a YouTube a couple of months ago where they're like three biggies that are expected to eventually compete.
Yes,
amongst one another, and should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Unlike the war in Iran, which is not going to be a lot of fun.
It's not going to be a lot of fun. You can talk about that today?
I suppose we shall bring it up. We will also speak with David Corlew, who was at the White House during the Medal of Honor ceremony. He's going to talk with us later on this afternoon. He was there in the room while Donald Trump awarded those Medal of Honor recipients. So we'll do that.
There you go. Straight ahead. Matt, you guys have